Good afternoon. I am Tony Dattino, the founder of the USA Memory Championship and the president of Dattino Consulting Group. And I wanted to do a 3 o'clock today, but during a drive on the highway, a pebble came up and hit the side window of my car and is cracking the window as the crack has grown from 1/2 an inch to about 18 inches. I am now in the mode of rushing to a safety glass place to put some crash insulation there so the thing doesn't shatter since the window is on back order. So anyway, I'm doing my Life with Tony a little bit earlier than I had planned so I can go take care of the window on the car and deal with that after my Facebook. So wanted to pick up on an interesting article that I was reading today from the October issue of Massachusetts General Mind, Mood, and Memory. And if you can notice here, it was better sleep leads to better memory. And what they've been obviously studying is, so what really is happening to our memories and to our learning during our periods of sleep? And more people and more research are coming out with the results that saying it's during our sleep that we are really encoding our learning that we want to retain for long-term use. And therefore, more and more emphasis is putting on getting good night's sleep. Well, I can't tell you how many people understand it's important that we get a good night's sleep, but then there's, as you get your mind going on that, it builds an anxiety. It builds a level of stress because we know we have to get sleep. We want to get sleep. I know when I set my alarm on my early morning days when I'm not my normal to wake up, I'll usually get up a half hour before the dopey alarm goes off, and I'll just lay awake for a few minutes and then finally say, this is ridiculous. I'm not going back to sleep to wait for the alarm to go up. So it's amazing what happens to us in terms of our patterns of sleep. So I'm reading this article, and what it was talking about is just think about how hard it would be for you if you were tired and you're in a classroom and you're trying to learn what the teacher or the professor is sharing with you, or you're in a meeting with a company seminar and you're trying to absorb what is being said during the seminar, but you're sleepy. So you haven't had a good night's sleep, or you're just tired, you've done something out of the ordinary, and you're just in that mode where I'm just tired. And now what you're trying to do is encode the information into your brain, and then we think, because we think we've got some of it, and now we go to sleep, we wake up and we wonder, where did it go? And we attribute that very often to, well, I just have a bad memory. And what I say to people, did you ever go through the exercise of focus and being concentrating on what you were trying to learn, retain it in a quick level, so like as fast as you learn it, did you just do a quick 5 minutes of jotting down key points of it? But here's the thing that I've learned in the science. And might you review it somewhere in the 8 to 9 p.m. hour? It is amazing, that little tip. Just take something you've learned during the day and give yourself 5 to 10 minutes in the 8 to 9 o'clock sleep hour, 8 p.m., and review it for just a few minutes. Now, again, we're expecting that you were focused during the day. You got it locked in there. You've encoded it. Now you want to retain it. And it's during our sleeping that we're integrating, and we're putting it there so we have it for a time in the morning. But now just imagine that during the learning period you were tired or distracted and you never encoded it, meaning you never focused on it and concentrated it on a way where it even got in. And too often we beat ourselves up. And this is something, if it never got put into a way where it was there and now you go to sleep, sleeping is not going to help you pull it out faster. Sleeping is not going to do any good for you in that regard. But now let's suppose that you didn't code it in and you got it. You focused, you paid attention, you did what you were supposed to do. And now you go to sleep, and you're thinking about it, and you're thinking about it, and now that's bothering you. And you get up in the morning, and you go off to work, and you're tired, because you've been thinking about it. Well, now you're going to turn around, and you're going to try to pull it back out, and as you're pulling it back out, it's not coming. Why is it not coming? Because in your drowsiness, you're sleepy, your brain is trying to process, and it's trying to remember, gee, what did you encode? And the more tired you are, the longer it is for it to come out. And by the way, the more tired you are, it also hits your emotions. You may be at a higher level of stress. And the more stress you've got, the more interruptions you're already creating just from the level of stress. And so we're back to your sleep. So a question I've gotten here, coming in from DeWitt, how many hours a night would you recommend to get enough of sleep? And this is a great question, because in just a few weeks ago, I did a live with Tony on sleep, and it was mind-blowing in that there was a science report that was coming out to say that some people can wake up in the morning and be alert with 5 hours of sleep. Other people should try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But the key variable that they were uncovering in the science was that this blanket dogma that everybody should get 8 hours of sleep by individual does not hold up. But what does hold up is your level of alertness and the feeling you have that you've been well rested and that you had good, what they call REM sleep, where you were able to get a good solid amount of sleep in a 5 to 6 hour period of time, where you just dropped down into all your levels, you got your deepest level of sleeping, and you had a good number of hours in doing that. And when you get up, you feel like you've had a good night's sleep. And so what I'm finding in my own life, as I see that, my goal is to go to bed and be not watching TV late at night, not reading stuff, having something that's light and easy. So I do crossword puzzles. I do them 15 minutes and, man, I'm sound asleep. And I don't do them like I got to get them done fast. I just do them to just occupy my mind. I'm not watching TV. I'm not listening to anything. And I'm not working on I'm not reading anything that I want to remember in the morning. And the next thing I know, I go to sleep, and I can get up 5 or 6 hours later. And if that sleep was a deep, well-resting sleep, I'm as alert as I can, 6:30 in the morning, and I'm ready to go. Some people need more than that, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, there's not this issue of how many hours of sleep must we get. We get a lot more of it when we're babies and when we're developing our brain in our early years. And there you're getting 10 to 12 hours of sleep, right? And you know what babies are doing in that regard. So this whole notion of sleeping and how much time do I need to get is one of the myths that recent science is really giving us some great information in terms of what is the right amount of sleep. Now, we come all the way through that, and we get to the closing here, and this is drawing upon memories. So now we're going to draw upon memories. And as for memories that you might otherwise be able to recall with ease, so a memory that you'll just pull out, a poor night's sleep or an ongoing struggle of sleeping will often leave you grasping for information. And what we don't, and this is one of the challenges you see in the medical world today with doctors who do their internship and they're putting in all these hours and aren't getting the right amount of sleep. Their own science has come back and told them not a good thing for your patients. And there's more accidents that can happen, more poor mistakes that can be made because we're not fully alert. And then we think about when we were off in school and we did these cram sessions and we stay up all night and we drink lots of coffee and we think that just drinking coffee because it keeps you awake is helping you learn, but what you do is you just cram for a test, keep your fingers crossed, pass the test, get done with it, and then everything you learned in that subject for it, it's gone. You barely made it through the test, and now you wonder why, gee, why did I forget what I was learning in that particular class? So those are a couple of things that came out of this article that I was reading out of the Mind, Mood, and Memory journal from the October issue that comes out of Massachusetts General Hospital. And all I can say to people is, you will know when you're going off to a meeting, or you'll go up to a class, oh God, is there going to be interaction in this meeting, or is this just going to be a boring one-way interchange? And then you go into that meeting with an expectation you're going to be bored, so as soon as the first 5 minutes go, you've already started to drift, versus, this is going to be an exciting meeting, I'm looking forward to it, I believe we're going to learn something new, and if you learn one new thing in that meeting that you can then encode, it's amazing what your brain will do in creating a whole lot of new thinking from it. That is my message for you today. We're making progress on the USA Memory Championship. So if you've got any interest in having some fun on November 14th, log in to the USA Memory Championship website. It's our first inaugural Zoom virtual MIT Lumosity competition, and we're looking to have a lot of fun with that. We're looking to expand it since it's now virtual. People aren't going to have to worry about getting on planes or driving and traveling. It's a 1 to 5 p.m. on a Saturday, November 14th, and there's no risk. There's no cost, so we're doing this at no cost thanks to the partners that we've got in this event, and it's going to be fun. So and people that want to watch it, they can watch it on virtual. We have some great speakers lined up, and we're looking forward to a really super afternoon on November 14th. So stay tuned, and I'll keep updating you along the way. And I hope all of you have a good afternoon. And you're welcome. It makes a difference. And so again, you have to learn to, how do you measure your own alertness and feeling like, wow, I'm alive and well, versus I got up feeling like I'm going to drag myself through the day. But this is just recent research that I found fascinating. And if you check back a couple of weeks ago, I did a Live with Tony broadcast on sleep that really nailed this extremely well. But you're in the ballpark, and give it a go and let me know how it works out. We'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday, in the 7 o'clock hour. Have a good afternoon, and off I go to